our craft project today, and we're going to make a little wreath. And when you're done, you're going to be able to take the wreath home, and you can either hang it on your Christmas tree, or you can hang it up as a decoration. Does that sound good? Yeah! Excellent. Now our elves are going to help you, show you how to make them, and they're also going to help if you need any help putting it together. But the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we know who our elves are. So when our elves come around, they're going to tell you who they are. They're going to tell you their name, and if they don't, make sure you ask them. And they're going to ask you what your names are so that they can help you. All right? And so elves, we can start passing out our materials, and we can spread out, and we can start showing them how we're going to make our wreath.
Because the one year I made her angel. When she was in pre-K, where she was in angel. Last year, my hope was an angel. And then I just want to we're going to grab a little bit of yeah.
Like this.
Mario. Ready? Say cheese.
That's cool.
Let's make it! Make it!
Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Can't see your face.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Wait, did you take a picture? Stop, on the one floor. Sorry. I wanted to tie it into my pencil.
Dude, I'm gonna read. You're not done yet?
I'm done.
Take a picture. Say cheese. Let me see it. Wait. 1, 2, 3.
Because that's going to be for us. That's for our Christmas. You want to help us? Are you talking to her? we're gonna listen to her, and we're not gonna talk so we can hear the story. Okay, let's see if we can follow those directions.
How many people heard of Polar Express? Okay, y'all ready? Polar Express. One Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound. The sound a friend had told me I had never heard. The ringing bells of Serna's sleigh. There's no Serna, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sound of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in a paper of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robes. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" I asked. "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick as rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests when lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we were going to scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed the barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean, linear sailor on a frozen sea. "There," said the conductor, "is the North Pole." The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. "There are gathering at the center of the city," the conductor told us. "That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas." "Who will receive this first gift?" we all asked. The conductor answered, "He will choose one of you." "Look," shouted one of the children, "the elves." Outside we saw hundreds of elves. As our train grew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl, so crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves were cheering wildly. He marched over to us and, pointing to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked Santa, he smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, holding the bell high above him, and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." No, it's not over. A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor held me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeer's name and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus' sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said. But the train gave a loud, sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home.
Hey, stop that, you're not funny.
It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas," he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Serna and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was a silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I had shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one point, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it does for all who truly believe. Everybody enjoy the story? Yeah. Did you hear that? Do you hear that? Nobody heard that? I heard it. A bus. I think it's a bus.
Somebody leave a red bag out here. A big, tall red bag. Are you sure somebody didn't leave one? Because I didn't put this bag here and I didn't leave it.
Oh my God.
Did you leave a red bag?
Oh my
God. Who left these? Who thinks they deserve these? Oh my
Are
God.
y'all been good this year?
You've been good?
Yeah!
Would your teacher say you've been good?
Yeah!
All right, I'm going to ask you to do this. If you can, just give us just a little bit of room. We'll ask these kind elves to pass these out. There's another bag out here.
Once you get your bag, go back to your seat.
Go ahead and sit down.
Look at that. You doing good? Sit in your seat. Did you? Alex, go sit down. Go sit down, dude.
Don't eat the candy cane in your bag. I'm gonna give you one out. Markers that we can pass around. You can use the gift that Santa gave you, but you can save those to take home, and our elves will bring you markers. And you can put your name on the back so we can remember who made that ornament for us. Can you do that? I knew I could count on you guys because you are awesome. Now we do have one wreath on the floor over there. It might be yours, honey. What I would suggest is stick your wreath inside your bag, so we don't lose the wreath, and we know whose bag is who, because your name should be on your wreath.
Right in front of me. Yeah.
Perfect.
And we see.
You're gonna make a
All right.
so I need all of you to listen real
One of the girls
carefully.
put a string on it.
This is the last thing I'm gonna ask you. How many of you brought your
Yours,
singing
Amalia.
voices today? I know that many of you did, because I heard you on the bus. How many of you can sing Jingle Bells?
Here you go, Mom. Beauty.
Mira, subito hasta el saco. Mira, ven the sack.
Yeah, come on. I'm gonna.
Where's Dad?
Mia, your present. Go, Daddy. It's right here. Open up.
All right, Mia, you're first.
No, that's for Mama. In there. Presents.
Mom, yeah, I know they.
Woo! She got something. No, I gave it to her.
Mira, what you get?
Misty!
Misty, look.
Misty, Misty, Misty! Misty, Misty, There's more at the bottom.
She got happy. She got real happy here. Hold on, Mia, wait.
Boom.
Oh.
She loves her Christmas present.
Put the collar on her, Bubba. Put the collar on her.
This is too big.
It was just right for her.
Mom, can I put the collar? Can I put the bowl?
Oh man, look at how pretty.
Can I get this? Misty's little cookie.
Damn, boy, you see me record him.
Misty's gonna listen.
Look pretty and pink. Alright, Dad.
Alex, come on.
Why about you grease out, Mia?
Oh. Ooh, nice Santa Claus.
There you go, look. You go.
Hey, Mom.
Mia, move.
Hello.
Mia, move.
Mia, move. Mia, move.
Oh, Bubba, let me see. Oh, nice skin.
Comes with a shit.
Beautiful thing. Look at her bone. Open it.
Antonio.
Her bone.
Why is this?
You have to put her pink collar so she can bright up at the same time. It's nice.
What is it? The clothes give me
Look at that. Whoa.
Well, we got it. You guys gotta wear that,
Oh, it's a brand new jeans.
Okay, Antonio, come on.
What you got there, Bubba? Antonio, move over to the center.
Look at me. There I am. Another shirt. You mean another shirt? It has a good top. You like it?
Just leave them there.
Whoa, look at her dress. Put it in
Are you okay?
and open. Nobody wants to see your pants. They know what you want.
Pants. Whoa. Hey, good shit, baby. Look at that.
Wow, you're really
Whoa. Whoa, boots.
Hey.
Deal. Yeah, deal.
Missy's enjoying her present.
I know. You didn't just put
Oh.
sweater. Well, boots.
Terrible.
You ready for winter?
Platypus and Dr. Ethan Sweet. Oh, it's hurting my arm.
Whoa, some more pants. Whoa.
You need more pants.
Yeah, another set. Whoa, boots.
Alright. Antonio, move. Antonio, move.
Look at my shirt.
Hot tea, go purple.
Look at my pants. I finally got pants like this color. This. It's scarf. And another shoe.
Is that dress?
I'm holding mine. No. Oh, they're tight. Okay, now let's strip all.
Alright, open the big box.
Okay.
Wait, everybody dips in.
Hold on. Come on. Turn it over. I go first. No, you don't. This box.
Hold on.
I'm gonna open it. Come on, Alex. Mia.
Thalia.
Oh, wait. Mia, we weren't supposed to open it. Oh, wait. We gotta leave. Finally. Let's open the two little box. For Christmas. Let's open the two little
Open the second big one.
Whoa,
We
look.
got the tennis and everything. Let's open this out. No,
Go ahead now, Alex, give her one. Oh.
sorry. We got the weird things that got to our house. Guys, look. We got the weird. Sweet Mikey! It's not weird, it's Thalia. Oh! That's part of the egg. Those? Yeah, it is. Super.
Let me see Alex.
We got. Let's hook up the Wii and play.
Alex, what do you think about the Wii?
It's cool. I wanna keep this. Is this thing mine?
No, it's everybody. Did you see it on the tag?
I'm going to dare.
Go say yourself right there. Matthew, did you look in your stocking?
Yeah. I got these. Come out. My big nose. I got a pen. Yes. I got 2 pencils. And I want to see if where's it down. Yeah. Now can we play with our stuff, our presents?
Now you gotta get dressed for church.
Church? What kind of church?
Grandma's church.
Gotta
Look at all the little faces when I said it's time for church. Boo-hoo. Except the mess. And we're like, that's funny.
You might need some You might need some
Scoot back because I don't want you breaking the TV.
Yeah, scoot back some. Back up, back up.
This is fake anyways.
Well, hold it like this. Look at that.
He's hitting him in the body.
Yeah, like that, like that.
What you press? Don't press nothing.
Come on, let's beat it for the butt. Yeah, I did.
Get back.
Get back, Antonio! You break my TV. We ain't gonna have nothing to play
You
on.
gotta be back because of the sensitive YouTube.
Antonio, scoot back.
Andrew, like this.
Andrew, do like how mommy was
Yeah,
doing.
like that.
Really?
Come on, Ellen. Come on, bring them. Do like me. Punch like a girl. You get them harder. Look, see? There you go, Gordo, Antonio. That sucks, Mom. We only got one round.
No, because you're supposed to get up. You gotta get up.
Get up, Alex.
How you get up? That's how you get up?
Yeah, you have to get up like that.
Let's run to Alex. Let's run. Oh, come on. Let's run to Alex.
Mia, move.
Let's run to Alex.
Merry Christmas, baby.
See that, my son? Get back, get back, get back. I don't want to feel my TV get broken. Get up, Alex. Ask him if Giant Eagle's open.
Let's run to Alex.
You want to go with me, Giant Eagle?
You said Giant Eagle's open.
Alright, I'm about to go in a minute. Mom, you want to stay here or you want to go with me? Oh, you dodged and got hit. Ooh, good one. School back! Man, I can see it now. Antonio. Get up, Alex. I guess.
After you're done from shopping, you gotta put in now.
Go pick my son up every day.
Come on, scoot over this way. Yeah, here you go. Get in front. Get in front.
Mom, you film the girls?
Boom.
You film the girls?
Misty just sitting there.
Mister, get. Open that shade, Chuchi. Damn, that stomach's fucked up.
Mine is too. When they're done. Get up, Alex.
Get up. Get up.
Beat you, little girl.
Dang, he can't play that shit. Look, he's already coughing.
Told you.
A lot of shit. Here. There ain't no more?
All right, back up. Antonio, you had your turn. Get back.
Here, Alex.
Here. Hey, mother. Merry Christmas. Huh? Yeah, I got drunk.
Man, she practiced before you started.
Chuchi. Yeah, he's drinking the dark beer.
You guys gonna use my technique?
To knock them down.
Mia, how's the girl?
Mama, figure out a like this.
Oh yeah, Chico. It's on between you and me. Alejandro. Get up, get up, get up. Oh, that's good. How do you do it, Chuchi?
Press the A2. Come here. I gotta go. Okay, now who's playing now? Go ahead, sing it.
Come on, Ryan, man, stop being poor.
Sing your ladybug song. Come on, close your eyes, sing it with mommy. Ready? Oh, come on.
Well, show me. I don't know. I forgot how to do it. Do it. I can't hear you, babe. I can't hear you. Silly, come on. Do it with me. Only me and Willa can hear. Just sing with me, Willa.
Come on.
Bye, Mariah. They're leaving tomorrow. They're gonna be mad at you. You didn't.
Sing it. Sing it for Tia.
Are you still recording?
Because if I turn it off, she's going to be the one like...
I'm not sucking in anymore.
We're gonna make our mom.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What, big kick,
Sing it, mama.
You ain't getting no candy on doo-doo cake. Or you're not staying tonight. Or you're no please. If Ryan doesn't sing it, sing it. Sing it, but do it while I sing it.
Go ahead. Nice.
Ladybug.
She's not doing it right.
Come on,
What
Mariah.
about ladybug? What about
Let's
ladybug?
do ladybug, bubble, butterfly.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do the party while I want to play with you.
Butterflies. Cause I wanna play it.
Yeah.
Ladybug.
Laura, listen. Hey, step back. Hey, get your daughter.
I don't.
Please stay with me tonight. Don't leave. Don't leave. She's not leaving. She won $1 million.
Hi, y'all.
Gordo, do you have something to say?
Yes, you got 2 stupid little daughters that don't listen.
Hey, I didn't say that.
Hey, like I said, they don't listen.
Loser.
Chuchi,
On television. On television.
I didn't get that.
Give a little tape.
Hey, let me show you how to dance.
Look at that six to
Hey, record it. I'm gonna do the dance. Look at me. I'm gonna do the dance.
Look at that 6 and
Jennifer.
10. Flex for, flex for, flex for.
Jennifer. Look, I'm gonna do the dance dance. You still gonna crack. With the body, baby. With the body, baby.
Come on, break it down, man. I thought Gordo was gonna be dancing and shit.
He was.
Show me how you do it, man.
What?
Fuck with your boy.
Okay, right.
Beat it, Tony. Beat it.
Come on, show me how you do it.
Oh, you recording?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, you missed it, dog. Now we gotta go on to Ozzy Osbourne and stuff.
Alright, go ahead. I don't think you... Hey, hold it.
Stop there at 67%.
Why he's going like
Let me take that thing off. What is that? Man, I don't like that tilt tension. Is that what it is, right? Oh, the touch strip.
Just take all of it out.
Ready? You ready to rock?
Right, stop Ozzy. Oh, God.
You ready, Doctor? Let's go. Fix this up.
Mom's ready.
What we got?
Mom, look at the
Oh, Doctor.
Alex, how come you're not singing?
Hey, I had a long.
Hey, Ryan, press the button. Ryan, press the button. I promise.
I was good. Ryan, no.
Hey, put it back on mic.
Huh?
Ryan,
Put it back on Michael
The
Jackson.
mic again.
You want to play Michael Jackson?
It's Michael Jackson again. You want to sing Mike, right?
No.
You just sing to beat it.
He was jamming out too. He was like, he'll do the moonwalk and everything.
Dad, I'm gonna take the cup. You said you didn't.
Ready?
I think that's Mia's, but go ahead, take it. They don't need it. No, it's not. Mia's not the bottom.
Ready?
Let's do this.
Are you ready to rock?
Yeah.
You about to rock.
I'm rocking now.
Sing Peter, man. Michael for us.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, we played on the spaceship. The boat. The boat.
The boat. It's an airplane.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Get started for us, Alex. Get started for us, Alex. Chop the sticks, chop the sticks.
He didn't ask the point when
There you go.
like this, but then when I realized
Oh,
I was singing, I got him, and then he looked at me and then backed up.
Yeah, but when you came in, he wasn't singing, right?
See it, Alex?
Rock out, Gordo.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. Hit it, Alex. Hit it. you do? Or did you do it?
Sophie, sing louder,
Sing, Alex! Sing, Alex! Alex, sing!
I got a DVD player, so I'm gonna just change it over to the.
Because it's solo. I get this I want.
Yeah, it's better sing louder. I can't hear you, Alex.
That's getting boring, Ron.
Sing, Brian! Ladybug! Ladybug! Ladybug!
Yeah, you left her out.
Are you ready to rock? I'm an American.
You didn't get one?
You got to break down the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Thalia. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Andrew, move the balloon.